Are you ready to move the needle in your business and in your life? Well, it's going to require a mindset shift. Here are the 3 critical areas that you should take care of on your personal development journey. Thank you again for listening in. I'm your host, Priscilla Shumba, and this is Reinventing Perspectives. Today's episode is about the 3 areas that you should really take care of when you're going on a personal development journey. Well, let's dive right in. If you've gone as far as you can go with the default settings created by your upbringing, your education, and your exposure, then it's time for a mindset shift. Albert Einstein's definition of insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results can be applied in our life and in our businesses. You reach a point where you've maxed out the tools that you have. You've done everything that you know how to do, and it's brought you this far, but you know there's next level. There's always a next level. So we're going to need better tools to improve our outcome. If we expect something different, we're going to have to do something different. Sometimes something completely different. We have to introduce a higher wavelength on which to operate from. Think of it that way. So the goal of personal development really should be to raise the bar on yourself. I would say personal development is more than leveling up. It's more of a transformation. Let people say you've changed because you must change to grow. Personal development is really about us reaching our fullest potential. Jesse Itzler says, don't aim to be happy, aim to reach your fullest potential. Because you can be happy being mediocre, but that's not the goal of personal development. Personal development is about you being all that you were ever meant to be, being the 100% version of yourself. If you ask yourself, is this me at my best? If the answer is no, then it's time to do what it takes to become the best that you can be. A lot of times we stumble upon glimpses of what we can be. You're doing something and you're totally in the zone and you feel it. You know that you can push through to the next level. Or sometimes you even push through to the next level by accident. God whispering to let you know that there's more to you. We need to push our limits to discover who exactly it is that God designed us to be. Forget about leveling up. We desire transformation. Romans 12 verse 2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will. The word gives us the key. It's not about a money shift, that you need more money. No, it's a mind shift. And once the mind has shifted, everything else will come into alignment. There's a provision when we're in the will of God. The first area that personal development should address is the area of fear. A lot of times we're not becoming all of whom we were meant to be because we're afraid. We have a fear of what other people will think. We have a fear of being different. We have a fear of rising above the level of our friends and not being able to connect the same way that we have been all this time. So the first question would be, are you willing to give up the familiar so that you can transform to be the 100% version of yourself? Because of social media, it's easy to have a herd mentality where we're just following the crowd and we're just doing what everybody else is doing because we get addicted to the likes and we get addicted to the followers and we get addicted to the attention that we get from other people. But to be the 100% version of yourself, you have to be willing to give up the familiar. Are you willing to have people say, oh, he or she has really changed? And if you are, there's a choice to make. Being liked by people because you're vanilla and you fit in with everything and you're not expressing yourself and truly being who you are, or choosing to take up the journey that's going to give you freedom and fullness of joy as you discover whom it is that God designed for you to be. The people who love you will always love you, and the people who only loved you because of this and that, well, those people will probably fall away. But wouldn't you rather be loved by the people who love you no matter what as you take this journey into becoming the fullness, 100% version of whom you are meant to be? 1 John 5 verse 14 to 15 says, and this is the confidence that we have before him, that whenever we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we have asked of him. God isn't a God of mediocrity. Excellence is God's standard. To claim our excellence and to live out a transformed life that gives glory to God and points people to Jesus, being in line with his will come with a provision. The second area that personal development should address is the fear of failure. This has been studied and well documented that the fear of failure is one of the biggest reasons that people fail to move the needle on their life and fail to move the needle on their businesses. We have to learn to fail fast and fail hard. Don't resist failure. Flow with it. Get the lesson real quick and salvage what you can and move on. Don't repeat the same mistake. That's gaining wisdom. When you're failing, remember, you're in the highest form of learning, which is doing. Ray Dalio says, if you're not failing, then you're not pushing your limits. And if you're not pushing your limits, you're not maximizing your potential. If you don't risk anything, you'll get nothing. And if you take a risk and fail, then you're one step closer to success. Know that everything has got a system. And if everything has a system, then the system can be learned. Failing is part of the learning curve. When you're failing, you're learning. And that learning curve is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. If you don't fail, you remain with a long learning curve. And you don't want to be that person who never tried, never did, and therefore never succeeded. For me, I experienced a lot of failure around money. So I used to avoid even thinking about money. And I was doing myself more harm than good by avoiding thinking about money. At the end of the day, even earning money is a system. Anything can be learned. And looking at the failure with money, I should have understood that the reason I was failing is that I wasn't understanding how the system works. Failure was merely as a lesson to show me what it is that I needed to work on so that I could improve my life and I could improve my business. The third area that personal development should address is blind spots. The definition of a blind spot is an area in your range of vision that you cannot see properly. We all have to confront our blind spots. It's a process that's going to be uncomfortable, but not doing this is lethal to our success. When we think about blind spots, we have to think, what don't we know? What do I need help with? What am I totally failing at? And what have I been sweeping under the rug and avoiding having to deal with? The truth will set us free. It's better to be exposed in the process of personal development so that we get our house in order than to pick up the speed with blind spots that will grow as our businesses grow and as our lives expand. Blind spots can become avoidable problems that will grow as our life expands. The objective is transformation. It's not about feeling good. We don't want to get caught up in a cycle of reading books, attending conferences, feeling amazing, talking about it for a few weeks, and then forgetting. It's like we're chasing a high because it feels good, but real change is hard. Grant Cardone says, it'll be harder than we ever thought it would be, but it will be better than we ever imagined. We have to be conscious and consistent, making changes in our lives for the better. We all want to be great, and to take the pressure off, think about what Jesse Itzler says. He says, great people are made over time. Thinking about these three areas, looking at fear of being different, fear of failure, and looking at addressing our blind spots, it becomes very apparent that personal development is not just a choice. Personal development is a life changer. When we avoid change, Grant Cardone says, our life is like a flat graph. And if you remain flat, you die. You have to keep upping the ante, bringing new energy and bringing small wins that build momentum, because you renew your energy with small wins. Proverbs 13 verse 12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Think about it this way. You're excited when you get promoted and get a new job, but once you get accustomed to your job and everything is flowing, you master the job, and then all of a sudden you're bored. There's no excitement. There's nothing really to look forward to. Don't get to the point in your life where you're doing things with your eyes closed. Keep challenging yourself and keep being challenged to grow and to be all of that you are meant to be. Maximize your potential. I'm currently attending the Grant Cardone 10X Virtual Challenge. If you're listening, we're on day 5. He's giving away tons of value for free. Search 10X Challenge. It's been amazing. And I'm just going to give you a snippet of what we learned today. 5 pillars to building a business. 1, financial intelligence, turning ideas into money. Without this, you will lose everything. 2, you must become a marketing genius. Everyone can learn to be a marketing genius, because without marketing, your business is dead already. 3, sales and closing. You have to learn how to sell, and you have to learn how to pitch and how to close. These skills are invaluable, but senior to sales is marketing. Marketing is always senior to sales. Pillar number 4, execution of the plan. Great execution always beats great ideas. Pillar number 5, build the team and scale. Even if you're a solopreneur, everyone needs a team. You need a mentor, you need a coach, you need a partner, you need a team to help you to scale your vision. If any of that sounds really interesting to you, go to grantcardone.com/virtual. There's going to be a 3-day boot camp in about 2 weeks where he's going to go in depth on these topics. I am not being paid to do this. I'm attending the free 10X challenge and it's blowing my mind. I have become a brand ambassador. This is my way of paying it forward. He's given us great value for free. And remember, we're in a value economy and this is just my way of paying forward and saying thank you. Whatever you learn, put it into action. Remember, doing is the highest form of learning. Plutarch says, the mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be ignited. James 1:22-25 says, but be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man observing his natural face in a mirror. For he observes himself, goes away, and immediately forgets what kind of man he was. But he who looks into the perfect law of liberty and continues in it, and is not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this one will be blessed in what he does and transform your life. God desires for us to reach our potential. If you got any value out of this episode, please hit the like button and join the conversation. Subscribe and turn your notification bell on so that you don't miss a single episode. Feel free to join our community at www.reinventingperspectives.com, where there's plenty of free articles to help you stay in faith while on the grind. Until next time, stay well.